Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Conscious Business Coffee Break, where we take a few moments to explore what's happening in the conscious business movement, expand awareness, and encourage your efforts in conscious business. My name is Stephen Donaco of the Conscious Business Enterprise, a division of Humanities team, and on today's program, I'm going to be talking to you about the pleasure of doing conscious business and frankly, the virtues of play in business. And, I wanted to, as I was pondering this for today's topic, I was thinking of my own experience in business over the years. And back during the initial kind of whole .com internet boom, when the web became a commercial medium, I was working for a public relations company, and it was really a fun job. I came to ultimately not appreciate the business because I didn't think it was conscious, because it was all about just spinning information for companies to make them look good to the public. So what ended up happening was I got an offer from an up-and-coming technology company as a project manager, and I was enticed by that, so I went for it, and I took this new job, and it was from the very beginning just this crazy pressure cooker, and it was I really didn't enjoy the people I was working with. The boss was very abrasive, not very compassionate, and I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the work. And it was funny because the work was somewhat similar to what I had been doing for the PR company, because I was project managing there too. And it was the environment. And I realized I was working in what was not a pleasant environment. It was all about just cranking out projects and billing clients without any value for frankly having fun in what we were doing. And I'm sure people can relate to this when I say at some point the job was so stressful and so unpleasant that it made me physically ill. I had lost my appetite. I had headaches. I was just feeling terrible, and really it became a desperate search to get out of there and to just for my own health. And it sounds dramatic, but it was really true, because I just felt terrible. So why is it that we go into these positions where the money might be really good, the prestige of a certain company might be really good, but when we get there, it's not fun, it's not pleasurable. And in our society, we somehow think it's acceptable to place the virtues of hard work and stress above those of play and pleasure. So I think in conscious business, we're here to change that. We're here to transform that it's not hard work over pleasure, but it's hard work and pleasure. Or it's just work and pleasure, work and play. Let me tell you another story. After I had left that company, I ended up, I changed careers at some point altogether and ended up going into the financial services world in banking, and went to work for one of the largest banks in the world in its private banking division as a manager, and had the opportunity to turn around a team that was suffering horribly from just bad morale, just poor management, and came in and was trusted to sort of reinvent that team. And it wasn't so much about coming in and re-engineering the way that people did the work, and it was really more about just honoring everyone for who they were as people. And really, by doing that, encouraging them to have fun performing the jobs that they had always been doing and supporting them in that. And as a result of supporting them in their flourishing, I was having fun. it was a pleasure to be having that opportunity to lead people. And I'll tell you, I probably worked just as hard as I did in the other job where I was getting sick. But the difference was that there was this fun factor to it. There was this pleasure factor to it. And it was amazing to me, in retrospect, how much of a difference that having fun, doing something pleasureful at work really will help us to be more deeply invested in the work we do on behalf of the people that we're working with and on behalf of the organization that we're working with and for. So, and let me go back even farther now and talk about when I was a kid. And I remember my dad was an engineer for Zenith Television. And, he had the ID badge to get into the building, and, he would bring home components and stuff. And, as a kid, I found all this stuff fascinating. And I ended up, making my own little badge, my Zenith badge, like my dad had. He got one of those clips for me so I could clip it to my shirt, and then I would just play with electronic components. And it was funny because my dad was going to work, and I saw it as him going to play. And as a kid, our role models for career and our role models for work or for the working world are really people that we see or we perceive as having fun doing what they're doing. And my dad he loved being a technical person. I mean, that was his business, and that's how he was trained. So I know he had fun doing it, and I know it wasn't fun every day, but he wouldn't be doing that work if it wasn't fun. And as a kid, I saw it as just completely fun. I mean, there wasn't even the concept of work. So in this context of conscious business, isn't it quite amazing if we could shift our consciousness, expand our consciousness to really embrace that whatever we do as our vocation, whatever we're called to do, whatever service we're called to provide professionally, if we look at it first and foremost as play, as something to have fun doing, wouldn't that transform the nature of the work and how we experience it? So, as a conscious professional, I invite us all, as conscious professionals, to really meditate on that. What can you do today to go into your job, whether you work for yourself or you work for a company or you work for a large company or a small business? What can you do today to go in and really bring pleasure to what you're doing? And it's not something that may happen instantly, but over time, if we shift our perception of work as something that can be fun, I think we can get there. And I would say if you're not experiencing that pleasure at work, maybe your soul is calling you to do something else. And I'm not inviting you to go in and submit your resignation today by any means. But I know in my own experience, I experimented. I went out and I did work for different companies and landed somewhere where I was truly working hard and having fun. It wasn't either or; it was really both. It's been a powerful learning experience for me as a conscious professional. And on the other side of that, if you are a business owner, if you're a manager, if you're an executive, how I would challenge you, how can you make the workplace fun? How can you make it pleasurable? Because as human beings, we come here not simply to work, not simply to toil, but to play. And our play really, truly isn't, and nor should it be separate from our personal life. So as a manager, as an executive, as a leader, as a business owner, what can you do to ensure a fun, pleasurable workplace for your employees? And this doesn't just mean having the annual Christmas party. And this is the one day a year that we all have fun together. It's really challenging leaders and executives to create the environment internally, consciously, so that so that people want to come to work. So that what is that you can do that causes people to say, that jump out of bed every morning and say, you know, I'm really looking forward to being there because I want to have fun. It's a fun place to work. I have fun contributing. It brings me pleasure. And when that happens, all of the other good that comes from those things flow, such as profit, being profitable. That sense of play and pleasure leads to loyalty, and that loyalty leads to people really truly being invested in the company's success. So what can you do as a professional, as an executive, as a manager to bring more fun to the workplace? So that's the thing I would invite you to meditate on today. And since it is a Friday, have a little bit more fun today. Give yourself the permission as a conscious professional, as a conscious leader, to make today a lot more fun. And then continue to practice that as a habit going into next week and in the future. And I believe as more of us have fun and find pleasure in the workplace, we expand the consciousness of business exponentially. So I leave you with that to think about today. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you again on Wednesday at 9 a.m. U.S. Central Time. And in the meantime, check out the links in the descriptions of the video for the Conscious Business Declaration and the Conscious Business Enterprise Training Program. So thanks again. Great to be here with you all, and have a great weekend.